Hey guys, before I get started, obviously a very sad day here with the passing of Steve Tish's daughter, and just our sincere condolences to Steve and his family, and obviously a tragedy, and his family certainly in our thoughts and in our prayers. The other thing I wanted to say just here at the outset is this is the first time I've really officially spoken to the media since coming to the Giants from the Cowboys, and I just want to acknowledge my time in Dallas and how grateful I am for that whole experience, and everyone in the Cowboy organization for the opportunity and for the support and the lifelong friendships that I've made. The players, the coaches, and the staff members who are with me and made my life way better. I am eternally grateful to them, and really appreciative of having them in my life and for that experience. Awfully proud of the program that we built and the teams we had. We had a lot of great days there. So again, I'm very grateful for that experience and for the people who made that experience what it was. Having said that, this is a new day, and I'm awfully excited about being part of the New York Football Giants and being back in this part of the country with this amazing organization where we've had so many great times in the past. So, with all due respect, I'd love to have the questions that we talk about today be focused on, what's happening here with the Giants rather than in Dallas. Okay. Thanks so much, guys.
Lombardo.
Hey, Jason. Thanks for doing this. I'm curious your first impressions of Daniel Jones when you watched him on film preparing for your guys' game last year against the Giants, and then maybe if there's an area now that you've gotten on field with him and seen his work in the offseason, where you've seen him really show some growth and development so far.
Yeah, great respect for Daniel from my first interactions with him, and that happened when we started to evaluate him in the draft process when he was coming out of Duke. And we weren't in the quarterback market, if you will, so we didn't do a deep dive study into him. But obviously, we evaluate all the players, and there were so many great things said about him from the people at Duke. We admired his career and weren't surprised one bit that he was taken in the first round and has had the success that he's had up to this point. We did get a chance to see him play against us and on tape all throughout last year. And playing as a rookie in the NFL is a challenge. Playing quarterback as a rookie in the NFL is a real challenge. And Daniel handled himself really, really well. And again, reflecting back on the reports and everything we knew about him coming out in the draft, it didn't surprise us that much. And, since I've been here, he's been a real joy to work with. There's no question, he is a football guy. He loves football, and he's always so prepared. He's always studying his stuff. He always has great questions and wants to get better. And my experience has been when you have that kind of approach and that kind of attitude, if you have some ability, you're going to keep growing and getting better every day, and he's certainly done that.
Just one real quick follow-up. You saw the quarterback make that big leap from year one to year two firsthand with Dak, and we've seen quarterbacks make that big leap all around the league in recent years. What about Daniel makes you confident that he's going to be the next guy to follow in their footsteps?
Well, again, we don't really get into comparing players. Everybody's in a different situation. The thing you just like so much about Daniel is just his approach. He clearly has ability. He's someone who's big, he's strong, he's athletic. He's got a really good arm. He's got all the tools you're looking for. But the thing that really jumps out is the approach that he takes every day. Like I said, he's a ball guy. He loves ball. He works very hard at it. He's always trying to refine his skills. He's always trying to gain more knowledge and find ways to become a better quarterback individually and for our team. So that's what you get most excited about.
Kenneth.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Doing great.
When you decided to come to the Giants, was there any hesitation in the sense of, I want some time off, or do you just want to get back to work?
I love coaching football. I'm just so fortunate to have been able to play football, the National Football League for 15 years, and now I've been coaching since then. And I love the game. I love every part about the game as a player and as a coach. And when I had the opportunity to come work for Coach Judge and the Giant organization, it was just something that I felt and my wife felt it was just too good an opportunity to pass up. So really excited to be here. I'm learning, trying to grow as a coach, trying to help contribute to this football team in any way that I can.
Thank you.
Jordan.
Welcome back, Jason. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm just curious how the whole process kind of went down. And from the outside looking in, it seemed like you were sitting there waiting in Dallas, and they were interviewing guys, and the next thing we know, you were interviewing for the Giants. So, maybe you could take us kind of how that really went down, and what was it about the Giants that intrigued you and that made you want to come here?
Yeah, no disrespect, but don't want to talk about the past that way. And any question you guys have about, what we're doing here with the Giants now, I'm excited to answer. And like I said in the earlier answer, just had 4 years of a great experience here with the Giants as a player from 2000 to 2003, and great admiration for this organization for a long time, and certainly great admiration for Coach Judge from afar. So again, really excited to be here and trying to get better every day and trying to help these guys grow as players. It's been a really interesting start to training camp for us, and I think the organization's done an amazing job allowing us to coach these guys as best we can. So excited to get better each day.
Emory?
Coach, you guys brought in some leaner, athletic offensive linemen as rookies. And from your perspective as an offensive coordinator, what advantages does that give you, having those guys that are athletic, not those stereotypical girthy linemen, but guys that are versatile, athletic, and are able to, play multiple spots?
Well, one of the things that we believe very strongly in is offensive linemen have to do a lot of different things. And we had the opportunity to draft Andrew Thomas, with the 4th pick, and Matt Pert in the 3rd round, and Shane Lemieux in the 5th round. And, those were guys that, we liked a lot in the draft process. And we felt like they were versatile guys. First of all, they were ball guys. They love ball. Those were the recommendations. All this feedback we got from their coaches, at their respective schools was so positive in terms of how much they love ball, how committed they were to getting better every day. And then we felt like they had the skill set necessary to do what we're asking them to do. We ask our linemen to do a lot of things. Our linemen have to be athletic. They need to be able to run block on the second level. They need to be able to pass protect against the rushers in this league. And, these guys are all rookies. They're learning on the run. We haven't had a real practice yet. We'll get into that here at the end of the week, but their approach has been outstanding. We're excited to work with them.
Zach?
Hey, Jason. You obviously go back a long ways with Mark Colombo. I was curious what you remember about him from your time when you actually got the chance to coach him, and then over the years, like seeing him develop as a coach. Like, what made you want to bring him back with you to New York when you got here?
Yeah, Mark was a hell of a player for us in Dallas, and one of those guys that, just a natural leader on our offensive line and throughout the team, and just simply plays the game the right way. You talk about, wanting guys who are going to fight, guys who are smart, tough, disciplined, and play the game at a high level. Mark did that. He was always so prepared. He always, approached practice and games the right way and had a really positive impact on everybody around him. So he was one of those guys, when he retired from football, I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to give you, a couple of years. He was in a rock band. I don't know if you guys know that, but
Heavy metal, yeah.
I'll give you a couple of years pursuing your rock and roll band, but we're going to get you back in here. And sure enough, a couple of years later, we got him back in the organization and started him on his way as a coach. And he's done an outstanding job. I think you see that right from the start with a guy like that. Did a great job for us as a player, and certainly been a real asset as a coach.
What'd you think of his music back then?
It's absolutely maybe a little harsh for me, heavy metal times 10, but he certainly played with passion. There's no question about that.
Thanks.
Kim?
Jason, it's great to see you again. I'm curious, as a former quarterback, if there are ways that you can relate to Daniel Jones, not only in his just growth process, but particularly as he tries to clean up the fumbling. And if I may, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about now getting to coach Saquon. When I vividly remember last year at MetLife Stadium, your folks before the game telling me, we can't let Saquon Barkley beat us today.
Yeah, really excited about both those guys and so many other guys on our offensive team who are coaching every day. And, talking about Daniel's approach, he's been outstanding. And again, always prepared, always ready, always trying to get better. And, there are a ton of things that all of our players need to work on. And it's our job as coaches to identify those things and try to give them the tools to get better at it. And there's certainly a ton of things that our guys have done well that you want to build on. So that's the process you go through. I did have the opportunity to play quarterback throughout my life, so there's no question in my mind. I feel like there can be a connection there, and I can relate to these guys, hopefully in a very natural way that can help them get better. And again, excited to do that with Daniel. He's been really fun to work with up to this point. Regarding Saquon, he's just one of those guys who's such a good football player, and we had to try to tackle him in Dallas, and all of our energy was put on that because he's such a difference-making player. But again, I want to go back to his approach. Talk about a first-class person. Talk about someone who loves football. Talk about someone who wants to work hard and do everything he can to be the best player he can be, the best teammate he can be. He's a sterling example of that. So he's been a real joy to work with.
Thank you, Jason.
We're going to take 3 more. Schwartz.
Jason, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. This is a Jason Garrett question, not a Cowboys question, okay? You were a head coach for a decade, and so has there been an adjustment for you going back to a coordinator role, maybe looking around at some points and saying, oh, wait, I don't have to do that now. I just have to do this. I mean, not that your role is not significant, but it's not the head coach. And as a second part of that, being a former head coach, you find you can help Joe Judge, who's a rookie head coach? Has he leaned on you for certain things in that regard?
Again, just excited about the opportunity that I have and the role that I have here with the Giants. And, I've learned so much from Joe and from others in this organization right from the start. And that's really the mindset mentality that I have. And certainly will try to contribute in any way that I can, just like we ask all of our coaches and our players too. So, that's my mentality. And again, I have my notebook open every day, and I'm taking notes in all those staff meetings and continue to learn from Joe on a daily basis. So excited to be here, excited to work for him.
Thank you.
Hey, Jason, how you doing? Welcome back to Jersey.
Thank you.
I'm just curious, when you get the job here, our jobs, we go back and we try to dive in, going back to when Jason Garrett was an offensive coordinator, trying to pick apart maybe what you did back when you ran the offense per se. I'm just curious, over the years, now that you're in that role again, what will this offense look like in your mind? How has your philosophy evolved? And what do you want to see from this unit that you put together?
Well, again, we're just trying to learn each other and try to coach our players as hard and as well as we can, and that's where it starts. We certainly have a system of football that's been in place for a long time, but it's also a system that has evolved through the years, and it's evolved based on the people we have on our team. There have been times in the past where we've thrown the ball a lot. There have been times in the past we've run the ball a lot. And the one thing has been consistent is we want to attack defenses different ways. And we've played our best offense. We've executed at a high level, and we've attacked defenses different ways. And we'll continue to strive to do that.
Last question here, Ed.
Jason, you just talked a little bit about the different ways you want to attack people. In this circumstance where you haven't had a spring, you said, you haven't had a full practice yet. How do you go about evaluating, exactly what you have on offense and how you can utilize, some of the talent that's at your disposal? Is it more difficult to do all of that in this circumstance?
Well, I think the biggest thing you try to do is you watch any tape that you have of players in the past to get a feel for that. We did that early on in this process. So you go back and you watch Giant tape. Maybe you go back and watch college tape just to learn more about the players and what their strengths are and some of the areas you want to work with them on. In regards to this process that we've been in since then, a lot of Zoom meetings over the spring. That was the medium we had. So no excuses. You find a way to install the offense over Zoom. And our players have been really, really receptive to that. And then you come back, you get into this early training camp. This is a different medium that we have. So again, you try to embrace the opportunities, and certainly when we get going, we start running fast in practice and start going against the defense, that's another opportunity. One of the things that we try to emphasize to our players is we're always evaluating them. We're evaluating that old tape. We're evaluating everything they do, how they handle themselves in a Zoom meeting, how they handle themselves in a real life meeting, in a walkthrough, in a practice. And we're always trying to help them live up to the high standards that we established for our football team.